So a bunch of things were mentioned earlier. I want to start with, I think like sex ed I had the grand total twice, but I did get to say something that no other kid gets to say at sex ed. I had it in 5th grade, then in 9th grade. So essentially, they were showing us, of course, pictures of the female anatomy because I was sitting in the boys area. And there were basically picture after picture, things were getting progressively worse with the STDs they were showing us. And so they eventually get to this one to where I can say at least hopefully 50% of the kids in that class were able to see what that was. But just to humor the instructor, I said, "What is that?" And he said, "That's a vagina." I said, "Okay, have you seen that before?" And he's like, "Yes." I said, "Outside of this presentation, have you seen it?" To which he answered that he was saving himself or someone. I'm like, "So you've never had sex, and you want to tell us about sex?" I think I'm doing much better than you are at 14 years old. So, as you can also see, I am very tall, I am trans, and there's something you should know about us. We have no voting power whatsoever, we are very gay, and we do control porn. You see, in the American South, it took us a couple of years, but we somehow became one of the most dominant porn categories. And now our president, the asshole he is, decided to take away revenue from us by banning 3 websites in the state of Tennessee out of the 35 that we can access. So, another thing that has happened to me, namely I woke up on Wednesday morning and found out some friends I had a couple of years ago had joined a vegan murder cult. I'm thinking to myself, there's an old proverb out there that is be gay, do crimes. This is not what we meant. We did not mean gang up and kill people like Charles Manson did. Now, I have gotten tested a number of times throughout my lifetime for the things that happened down there. Now, as there was another stand-up back, I think it was a few weeks ago, to which SSRIs are mentioned, and I turned to my friend and said, "Okay, those aren't STDs, right?" He said, "No, that's a medication you take." I'm like, "I would be a very bad doctor. Be glad you don't have me in the healthcare system. Let me stick to my computers and shit, and whatever weird stuff I do on my free time." Now, I am, have any of you seen the movie Big with Tom Hanks? There are a few things they leave out in that movie. When his kid turns into an adult, he gets very, very tall in a short period of time. When people grow to be as tall as me, we forget to do a few things from time to time. Namely, eat in the mornings, eat in the middle of the day, maybe eat a third time in the day before eating dinner. There are times to where I live in a very cold apartment, so I am constantly expending calories. And there are times to where I've forgotten to eat in the morning, and I'm shivering like on the couch or something, like shivering and sweating in the same way as when I was going through withdrawals while I was on cocaine. They're very, very similar. So, let's see, how do I end this? I said many terrible things this evening. Let's end it with this. So I finally got the people who sell health insurance to stop harassing me. Unfortunately, that means I have to retire a particular phrase. So for months and months, they called me 10 to 20 times per day. And then finally, this guy got me taken off the call list. And I'm kind of sad because I no longer can pick up the phone and wait after 5 minutes for being harassed and say, "So, how's it feel to not be good enough for the phone sex line?" I'm Paris Renee, have a good rest of your day.
Oh yes, keep it going for Karis, y'all.